Hello, it is that time. Let's talk about Lucy, shall we? Now, I believe Lucy has the potential to be the strongest character in the game, the strongest DPS in the game. Why? Because she is intellect and she can be slot everywhere. Now, the side tube we don't know, which she's probably gonna get her own, so we shouldn't worry too much about it. There are a couple options. But we'll see what happens, because she's going to be the first phase, right? So first phase equals materials and side tube. So we'll see what she gets, but we don't know the numbers yet. But if the numbers are good, and I'm pretty sure they are going to be good, and I will explain you why in just a second, she's going to be the best DPS in the game, or at least really close to Chu and Winsong. Okay, now if not, like maybe a little bit stronger, right? Now, if you want to read it yourself, or if you want to read other kits of the character coming from 1.9 or 2.0, whatever, you can join my Discord. It's in the description, or you can just type in on Google. You can type discord.gg/Jagazin. That's gonna be fine as well. You can join and read them yourself if you don't want to rewatch the video later on the line. Like, oh, what the fuck? I just need the kit, right? You can go there, and you can also ask in the Discord as well. They're gonna link it to you. Okay, we have all the kits pinned. It's really easy to access. Okay, so keep that in mind if you're interested. Now let's go ahead and start reading the kit. I'm gonna try to be as clear as possible, and if it's very complicated, I will also use editing, and you will see the editing here at some point to make it more understandable, okay? Or maybe use some footage. Now let's go ahead and check the inside of Lucy. Now, inside is called Primum Movens. I think it's like first moves or something in Latin. I1. When the caster gains Moxie, or when an ally gains Moxie or Eureka, gains a stack of electricity. Okay, so she's gonna gain one stack of electricity every minimum 4 every turn, because everybody's getting a Eureka if you're playing them, alright? So, or Moxie or Eureka. When self or allies have gained an amount of electricity, so this is probably a Chinese translation issue. I don't think anybody else can gain electricity besides her. So it's like, unless when herself got enough, or ally gave her enough electricity, she gains technological revolution. We're gonna check what that is in just a second. I2 increases crit rate by 8%, which is nothing to laugh at. It's pretty good. 8% crit rate, I'll take it compared to damage mitigation. Wow, or like HP. I3. After casting the ultimate, the caster gains leader influence and casts kinetic energy conservation once. When an enemy is defeated, gains a stack of electricity and data encryption. I will explain what they do. Then cast kinetic energy conservation once. Now, basically the I3 makes the ultimate have 2 different outcomes whether you kill or not. I mean, it's one outcome, but it's an enhanced version if you kill somebody. If you do kill somebody, you're going to get a stack of electricity, data encryption, and then you cast kinetic energy conservation. What is this? Kinetic energy is the follow-up attack that you see in the trailer. Is basically the lasers crossing, going in, being AoE. You can do that. That's the follow-up attack, and you do it once. But if you kill, you do it again, and then you get data encryption and a bunch of electricity as well. Okay, now let's go ahead and check what they do. Okay, now technological revolution is a buff at the start of the round. So every round, at the start of the round, choose one of 3 incantation to sublimate. Now, you know how you buff with 6? When you buff with 6, you have like the screen, like what do you want to choose? And you have like different portraits. It's going to look the same, but with 3 different skills. Skill 1, 2, or 3. Skill 3 is the kinetic energy conservation, the follow-up attack. And you can choose which one to sublimate. Now, Sublimate just means to upgrade. Now, there is like a theory. We don't know if these cards are going to be permanently upgrade as a category or just momentarily for that turn. Because it says that if all present incantation are sublimated, sublimate ultimate instead. This makes you, if this is correct translation, and like how much different could it be if you think about it? Now, if this is correct, it is safe to assume that if it's saying that there is a scenario when you are looking at 3 different powered up cards, and this triggers at the start of every round, you cannot trigger it more than once every round. Then this implies that every time you sublimate a card, it's not going to be that one card, but it's going to be the entire category for the rest of the combat. Because otherwise, why would it tell you that it sublimate ultimate if all 3 are sublimated? They wouldn't be sublimated because they would just be upgraded 1 round, right? And then next round you choose something else. But you cannot trigger it more than 1 round, so I feel like it's going to be permanent, which is really crazy, okay? Now, Leader Influence. What is Leader Influence? Increases the damage advantage of allied Flaruses. So what this means, it's a new mechanic, or kind of mechanic, right? Leader Influence, which you gain during Ultimate, thanks to I3, makes it so if you're fighting with like Beast, right? If you're fighting with Beast, let's say, now, you know how the damage that you do with a Flatus advantage is going to be 30%? Now it's going to be maybe 40%, right? Maybe 50. We don't know the number, but that's kind of big. It could be big because it's a mass buff for everybody. So whatever they do, they're going to deal more damage. The healer, if they have an attack card, they're going to be able to help a little more with the damage. The sub DPS is going to do actual proper damage, right? Let's say you're playing a Plant versus Star, you're playing Beacon, you do the ult. No, Beacon ult is gonna do like 50k or something. That's gonna help a lot, okay? Now, Kinetic Energy Conservation is a mass attack, which is the follow-up. It's skill 3, basically. It's a mass attack, deals reality damage. So she is reality, okay? Keep that in mind. The reality damage to all enemies. Consumes the stacks of electricity to gain penetration rate. I don't know how many electricity you need to be. It might be the same concept as choose ult. Like, okay, I have 6 plus. If you have at least 6 electricity, you're gonna have 100% penetration rate. Or it might be for every electricity that you use, you're gonna gain a 10% penetration rate, let's say. So whenever you cast it, you're gonna use all of your electricity and you're gonna gain X amount of penetration. If the target HP is below a certain percentage, it might be 50, we don't know, this attack deals extra damage. So this is really good because this is what you cast on your I3. You're casting this by default once. And if this has calling potential, execution potential, and penetration rate, it's going to be really easy, or at least easier for you to kill the enemy, which in turn is going to trigger the second part of I3, gonna give you electricity, data encryption, and kinetic observation, okay? And kind of cast the lasers again. Now, what is data encryption? Data encryption is an increased damage dealt. It's stackable, and it's just increased damage dealt. It's a buff that you get. It doesn't say if it's like timed. It might be a permanent stack, okay? So, what the fuck? Now, what does sublimation do? Sublimation, the upgrade itself, what is it gonna do? Sublimation is gonna make the attack deal additional reality damage, ignore dodge, and not trigger counter. So if an enemy is dodging, it's not gonna dodge. If an enemy is trying to counter, it's not gonna counter. You're gonna go right through it. You're not going to get the damage yourself. Okay, that's really big. It's kind of crazy. And if this is permanent, you're gonna have full kit in 3 turns. In 4 turns, you're gonna have full kit upgraded permanently, which is crazy. Now, this would also mean that technological evolution is going to be useless after 4 turns. turns, but who cares, right? You're gonna become a god after 4 turns, so nobody gives a fuck. Now let's go and check the skills. Skill 1, acceleration of mass. One target attack deals reality damage, consumes a stack of electricity to deal additional reality. After sublimation, it becomes a mass attack. Deals reality damage to 2 enemies. Damage dealt is halved against the secondary target. So the first one is going to take the bulk of it. The second one is going to take like a percentage. I don't know, maybe 50 or 60% of it. Actually 50 because it says halved. Consumes half the amount of electricity. So you want to sublimate all the time. I mean, you will, right? So that way the cost is not as big. So that's really, really good, okay? You want to basically, what you want to do, realistically, you're going to sublimate something immediately, and then every turn you need to sublimate all the cards, and then you're chilling, right? So maybe you don't want to play for like 2 turns, so you don't waste too much electricity, and then you go crazy. That might be a play, right? So that was acceleration of mass. Skill 2, loaded guidance. It's a mass attack by default. Deals reality damage to 2 enemies, consumes a certain amount of electricity to attack 1 additional target, or inflict additional reality damage if you're fighting fewer than 3 targets, okay? After you sublimate the card, the attack deals additional Genesis damage based on the caster attack. So that's where you guys saw the Genesis damage. That's where it was coming from, the sublimation of skill 2. So you deal Genesis damage based on Lucy's attack. Consumes half the amount of electricity. Now, yeah, so every sublimated card is going to consume half the amount of electricity that they use on the base form. Now, the ultimate base is going to do a self-buff. It's going to self-buff yourself. You enter Pragmatism status, gain data decryption, and equip Charge a Bomb. Now, data decryption, we know that is a buff. It's the same buff that you get from killing somebody on your I3 after you do the ultimate, right? So you get another stack of data encryption after you kill somebody by doing the ult. Now, Pragmatism says that attacking any of Flatus is considered advantage. So she stops getting nerfed by the fact that she is intelligence. So like, you know, you miss, you don't have any, nobody has advantage over you, but you don't have advantage over them either, right? That's the gist of it, unless it's spirit. But with your ult, you enter Pragmatism, and we don't know how long this is. We don't know how long Pragmatism is going to stay up. Maybe a couple turns, maybe it's permanent. There's no way it's permanent. Surely, right? And so attacking any of Flatus is considered advantage. Increases the damage advantage of the caster. So not only attacking any of Flatus now with Lucy is going to count as plus 30% because it's advantage. It's going to deal even more. Okay. Now I'm wondering if Leader's influence is going to apply to her as well, and if it's going to stack with Pragmatism. Probably not, right? Because it says of allied Flatuses. Makes sense. So I guess Leader influence, or even name-wise. So either Leader influence is going to be for your teammates, and Pragmatism is going to be for you. So everybody has advantage and big advantage, okay? Now, Charge Bomb. What the hell is Charge Bomb? Before attacking, gain an amount of electricity, which is really good because you keep up the extra stuff that you can do with your skills, right? Now, after sublimation, and again, to sublimate the ultimate, you need to wait until turn 4. Gain Supercharged Bomb instead. Supercharged Bomb says additional electricity. You gain additional electricity and gain additional Moxie after casting ultimate. So I don't know how much the Moxie is going to be. Maybe 1, 2. So that's it. I don't know if that's it. Now, that's it for the reading, but this kit is insane. If you think about it a little bit more, she's going to be intellect, reality DPS, buffing everybody's Aflado's advantage power, getting a buff of herself, permanently upgrading her cards to do way more. Everything is a mass attack. She has two follow-up attacks, Genesis damage, base +8 crit rate, which I want to still say, but the I1 is also pretty good, right? Think about it, because she gains Moxie. When she gains Moxie, or when an ally gains Moxie or Eureka, you get electricity. So if you're just playing the game, you are generating minimum like three electricity, if not more, if you're playing someone with the Eureka, like 37, right? So 37 enjoyers, 37 owners, we are like on the moon, to the moon, right? To the moon. Because like every time, like imagine skipping 37, and now there's like the 3 strongest characters in the game can be played with her, and she's like chilling and doing infinite damage just because all of the follow-up attacks that we are getting. Now I still think maybe Chu and Winsong are better for 37 for the like how many follow-ups they do, probably close together, probably the same power. But you could also play 37 with Lucy if you don't have Winsong, and maybe Chu is busy, or you're skipping Chu for some reason. But yeah, like this character is really insane. I am going to pull it, obviously. If I am unlucky on day 1, I will eventually pull it, because we get apparently 114 pulls on CN patch, on the CN patch. Now, why do I think this character is going to be insane? I think this character is going to be one of the strongest character no matter what, because it's the anniversary. So it's a true limited character. So like Chu, same concept as Chu. Don't be confused again. If you're confused on how these banners work, go check my video talking about how Chu banner works. Go there, and I'm going to explain to you, okay? So, due to the fact that she's coming from the anniversary, she is going to be extremely powerful because she is true limited, and this is their anniversary. Okay, so I think that's really important to talk about. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me know what you think about the character down below. I want to know your opinion. If you're going to eventually pull for her, what are your plans now? What are your pulling plans now as a free-to-play, or even as a low spender? But I'm kind of curious about the free-to-play players. Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, the usual stuff. Come to my Twitch if you want to see it live. We're gonna play Lucy, and check it out. And all of the other content from the anniversary on twitch.tv/Jagazin. Come say hi, give it a follow. We're gonna be playing other games as well whenever they come out, but we are going hard on our 99th anniversary as well, okay? So thank you for watching, and see you next time.